My name is Bobby Dietz, and this is another update, a monthly update from our ad agency. And in this one, we talk about some really great progressive moves that our company is making, trying to narrow in on our structure and responsibilities as the company grows and we get more employees. And one of the main things we talk about for that is the idea of pods and people working in pods, teams of media buyers that work together on accounts across different platforms and how that might look. We talk about goal setting and whether that having a small business department aligns with our future goals or not, or if we should just shove all those smaller accounts off to other people and focus on the bigger, more clout-worthy accounts. And we need to decide if we want to have team leads, another talking point, versus media buyers being a major part of client communication. And what is that going to look like for us? Are media buyers going to be on the phone calls for an hour on 15 clients every week? Maybe it'd help keep the clients happy, but maybe it's a waste of time and the client manager can do that. And how does the client manager get paid for that? And then also talking to several different accounts recently about idea of equity versus taking these service fees. So basically people give us equity and we provide marketing services in exchange for that in lieu of paying us a fee. A lot of fun different topics of conversation this month. Hopefully you enjoy the video and stay tuned for the next one. Sunday, 5:20, been here all day. Here I am. You think as business succeeds, you're going to be doing less and less of this stuff, but I don't know, it's just some sort of level of determination to win. We're in this competition for a few accounts right now, and something about that just really fires me up. I just don't want to lose to these other companies, and they're big companies, so it's even better for us if we can dominate them because we've done it in the past, and I want to continue to do that. And I want people wondering why we keep winning business and what the heck these guys are doing. A part of that means spending the weekend. It's just Saturday. Did I say Sunday? It's Saturday. I'm gonna be in here all day tomorrow prepping. We have presentations on Monday and Tuesday for two very big accounts that would completely change the landscape of our business if we won both of them. We just onboarded last week that other account. So we're gonna be in need of employees, I think, in a big way, certainly for these smaller accounts. Some of these bigger accounts we can't hand off, it's too important. I'm just trying to figure out how we do that. One of the things that I'm doing is reading Traction right now. If you guys watch the channel, I read a lot of books. This book is a lot like a blend between The One Thing and the E-Myth, and a little bit of sticky branding too so far. I'm really a big fan of this kind of stuff. It helps get me directed and help with growth, and ultimately we need systems in place so that we can onboard a lot of people. But what I really want is to hire the best people and have the best company. We had a big meeting here yesterday with one of our biggest clients, who's also one of my favorite clients. They were our biggest early client, our first biggest client. You start with this small stuff and start moving your way up, and these guys were our biggest bad boy, and they meant the most of the time. And talking about expanding our company into like creative services or SEO or content creation, trying to get their opinion about what was good and what wasn't, what they liked and what they didn't. For me, I'm just really paranoid about not having the best. Everything we do in this company's got to be the best, especially as it grows. I'm going to be less hands-on and less doing these things for clients, making sure they get done. So I have to make sure that I get the best possible people I can get. And it's worth it for me, I think, at this stage in our growth to wait until we find the perfect person. And I would honestly wait to sign accounts until I found the perfect person, hire the perfect person, and then go sign the accounts. Instead of sign the accounts, now we're overloaded, let's go find somebody to hire. We need the person, bring them on. That's like my nightmare. I'm actively looking for people right now. I'm connecting with different people on LinkedIn that are buyers, trying to meet with them, pick their brain a little bit about how it works at their agency, see if we can learn some stuff from what's happening with our competitors, and then ultimately gauge their interest level in making a move. For a long time it was no growth. We just want 4 of us and get to 10 big accounts and see how it goes. But I can quickly see that the pace of growth here is I'm not gonna be able to turn down an account that's paying us 5-10 grand a month, and I keep opening the doors to all these accounts, and our work is so good that we're not losing accounts. So that's really fun. Not gonna sit here and have some ego of like, oh, I'm so humbled by it. This is so sick. I've had good times in business, and I've had long times of struggle too. It's been really hard. It's been really good at times. And I had built this big business with my old business partner who's doing different stuff now, and it came crumbling, crashing down. So now to be doing this business that's totally permanent and very valuable, and having it succeed like crazy is so fun. And that's why I'm in here on Saturday and Sunday. It's all I want to be doing is working on this thing and being with my kids and family. So it's a balance there. So I think my plan is to not work on Wednesday after these meetings, but I got 3 meetings on Wednesday the day after, so I can't. What do I do Thursday? And then I have an all-week event, 3-day event from the 12th to 13th. So yeah, I won't be taking this week off. It's gonna be a next week thing. Maybe I'll take an extra day off, I hope. I don't know. If you guys have any other book recommendations for me, or things that you think we should focus on or look at, think about, I'm very interested to hear them, because we haven't built a person-heavy business before. A competitor just sold for 220 million bucks, and that was just nuts. In 4 years, they got to 17 million and sold for 220 million. That was the number I was given by some inside connects. That's an insane multiple. That's what I want to do. I at least want to have that on the table for me to potentially turn down or whatever. And now we've got our goal, how fast can we get to 17 million? Hopefully we can keep it up, but we need systems in place, and that's why we need traction. I brought up that competitor that sold though, because they worked in pods. In my last video, I shared the kind of outlay that my business partner had put together for what growth could potentially look like, and having units of people that work together consistently, not necessarily on the same accounts together in this specific group all the time, but there could be pods that work together. So these 3 people are working on this one company, and then these 4 people are working on this one company, one Pinterest, one Twitter, one Facebook, one Google, one Snapchat, whatever it is. These people are working together, and then they have a manager for that team on the account, a client success manager or whatever it is. So I thought that was really cool. My partner had some good insights or thoughts there. It's obviously working for the guys that just sold for a bunch of jack, so why not try and do that too? I think that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching this one, and let me know if you have any thoughts, insights, books I should read, and suggestions for us. We're all ears, man. We don't know everything. Still learning. Later. Reading a book, Return on Courage by Ryan Berman. Book about making brave actions, being courageous as a brand, and it led to a strong conversation with my business partners about a vision for the company and our core values and things we want to take a strong statement on and position on, trying to narrow down exactly what our company is going to look like. And we had a fun conversation over cocktails last night about goals, and we're really big on goal setting and where we want to be in 3 years. It's again with this book Traction and how that relates to 90 days. And we're planning a big partners retreat where we're going to take an entire day off just to work on the business, not in the business. And it's really different than taking a 3-hour meeting or something like that, because there is no email to answer, a thing you have to try and get done that day. The whole day is just completely wiped out. We're going to be able to set definitive core values, vision for the company, the way we interact with each other, whose roles are what. Even though we have those roles lined out now, just writing them down so we're all required to do certain things and obligated. That way none of us have a specific boss. We just are obligated to do different things for our business partners and the business in general. Being at capacity was a thing that we talked about, where we're at. We had a client meeting yesterday before we ended up going out and having a lengthier conversation, and he basically asked like, hey, I've got a company to introduce you guys to, but are you at capacity? I don't want my business to feel the effects of introing you to somebody else. I basically told him, we're not at capacity, A, but B, even if we were, we would just eliminate small accounts and make room for one large account. A big part of the conversation yesterday was, do we want a small business part of our business, where we take these smaller accounts that we sign and just push them into the small business part of our company? And I really think it could be helpful for keeping cash flow coming in, but I don't want to lose the quality controls, and that would mean we have, in order to make any money on that part of the business, we'd have to have a less than exceptional buyer, I think, in terms of salary and commission rates to actually make any money. And that would give that buyer a chance to make a lot of educational steps. They would learn a ton from more senior buyers, and it would be a way for them to grow in the company and see a future place for themselves. But it would also require us to do a lot of management of that person. So we were asking each other, like, you know, I was challenging the guys that do a little more of the ad buys than I do. I'm a little more of the biz dev stuff. Like, do you want to manage this person? You know, would you even want to manage them? What about the idea of hiring someone who maybe even is better than we are? You know, better buyers, and paying more, but not even having to worry about anything at all because they have got it. You know, that is a concept that needs to be discussed, and it was a real tough question to answer. You know, I don't think they were even ready at the end. I don't think we even resolved whether they did or did not want to hire somebody that's a little more novice or somebody that's way more senior, because it's a big step in the direction of the company and giving away a little bit of, you know, the oversight that might be required or the control that you might desire as the business owner. It just potentially leads to more stresses, I guess. But if the person is exceptional, then there would be less stress because they're all over it. It's just a debate, you know. Do we 86 smaller accounts, only work on less bigger accounts, and hire people to work on bigger accounts and work on premium buyers, or do we have this small business section where there's a more fluid in and out of clients? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We talked about growth and broke down some numbers. We're at 7,800% growth this year from Q1 to Q4, and to do that again, we would have to sign one. If we kept the small business portion of our business, we'd have to sign one small business account per week and 2 large business accounts per month. It's a little below the pace we're on right now, but we're ramping, so it wouldn't have to be like we have to sign 1 per week from January, let's say, if that's when our year starts, our Q1 is. We could sign 3 in a month or 1 big one, and then ramp up as we get into summer of 2020. We could start signing more accounts. Maybe there'd be 3 big ones that we take on and make up for it. It's not like it's a 1-for-1 thing. It's fluid, but that is the pace that we need to sign clients at, which is, I think, extremely achievable based on our pace and capabilities. We just need to make sure that we're ready to scale and bring on new buyers and find those buyers to do it, and having fun talking about what it looks like. We talked about how these people get paid. You know, we met with a CPA, and he had recommended heavily doing a bonus structure. I think any buyer is going to need commission, and a fixed bonus structure is the easiest way to avoid confrontation or conflicts with people about their pay, because it's either you're getting the bonus or you're not. And anytime there's a commission involved, there can be confusion and frustrations, and especially with ad buys, like if you touched a platform or not, are you getting paid on that or not? You put one ad up and it didn't do well, but there was oversight, so now you're working on management. I mean, I don't know. So initially, another part of the conversation was, okay, do we pay people more as salary and bonus as well, or do we have a lower to average size salary with almost like a draw, where there's a fixed managed dollars amount, and then any growth on top of that you get commissioned out on, that would represent a potentially higher number or the same OTE, just a different way of achieving it. What is going to attract the buyers that we so desire, and what is going to make us comfortable? There's also the other idea that, you know, if we start other products, which we've done a lot, we could give equity away to buyers as a way for them to avoid having like a side hustle, as it were, and just put those extra efforts into the products that they have equity in. That is something we're very seriously considering, but it would also mean not scaling the agency to an enormous level. It would mean getting the agency to a very, very comfortable income level, and then stopping excessive growth on the agency side and reinvesting that time and energy into products, which would ultimately make us more money, or software development, you know, whatever it might be. And then giving equity to buyers that spend extra time buying traffic for that in that company as something that we had heavily considered as well. Next steps really for us, this year we're gonna have a payroll company that launches, a bookkeeper just launched, health insurance start getting paid for by the company and offered by the company, and then changing our company from an LLC to a C Corp, I guess something we need to do for a lot of advantages, which maybe I'll put in a different video. But some of the changes and structural things that we're trying to put in place are getting done. You know, I put a form together last week for what kind of communication should happen. Well, my business partners are a lot better at the business operations. It occurs to me, it seems pretty effortless for them. I love talking about it, brainstorming it, but these guys really have this kind of structural mind, and they can just kind of see the way it should operate, it should work. And I'm really trying to encourage them to just dive into that role and embrace it. It feels like a lot of people want to be in the salesy kind of role and closing business or something like that, but the operations side of an agency is so incredibly important. It is the ultimate stability of the entire company, because sales is going to be not as consistent and stable as revenue that comes every month. So I think that we're getting closer to dividing up the powers that be within the company, because remember, it's just 4 of us at this point, and one of the things that we really need to do before the end of the year is put our org chart together, define the roles, and I'm excited to start having those conversations. We've got this all-day retreat to try and iron some of this out, and a big part of what we want to talk about is, what do you want to do? You know, I think that some of my business partners might be better at things that they're not doing as much. They're not spending as much time doing things that they could be, and whether they enjoy that and want to get there. Okay, you want to be there, how do we get you there? What's it look like? How many people do you need underneath you? And then let's set a goal for 90 days, 180 days, 365 days to make sure you're in that position as soon as possible. Because, you know, as reading this book, if you're doing your unique ability, your thing you're best at, it's only going to help the company. So what are the assets? What are we best at? How can we get ourselves in the position to do that more often? Because it's going to help the company quicker, help the company more, and really put us in the best possible position that we can be in. Anyway, a little bit of growth here. Exciting day, and we'll see what happens here in the future. See you in the next video. Okay, so we had a big meeting, and we talked a lot about some of the things that we want to do structurally for growth. I had outlined this. That is not, it's too independent. We need more structure at a high level. It can't be individual teams. The structure that we ended up coming up with is like this. This is the one that we talked about a while ago. You can see the old video about that, but to give a little more detail, at the top we have the clients. So it could be 5 clients, it could be 10 or 15 clients, and then underneath that there are 2 people in charge. There's the team lead, which is the person truly that is responsible for media by performance, and then there's a account manager, which is a relationship and sales manager. So upselling email, or increasing the spend, or getting us to work on Amazon, and if we're only doing Google, then we do Facebook, blah blah blah. The team lead is going to be responsible for the social media marketing manager on the account, the search engine marketer, and any others, analytics, all of that. That is what the team lead will be responsible for. That way we don't have buyers on the bottom that are working on 10 or 15 accounts responsible for also talking to the client. There's one team lead. So if we have, let's say with this exact example, we have 15 accounts, there would be 3 team leads. Each team lead has 5 accounts. But the buyers might be working on 8 or 7 or some sort of any number of accounts. They just report to that one team lead, and the team lead and the account manager are responsible for client communication. So that's going to limit the number of things that the account manager has to do, so they can work on new business and client satisfaction, retention, and the team lead can focus on ad buys for their list of clients. This all came to fruition after a conversation that our guys had at an event in LA with a competitor's buyers. They were all complaining and moaning about all the meetings they have to do and the reporting they have to do. These people are spending 2 days almost of their whole week just on prepping and presenting reports. Buyers, that is such an unbelievable waste of time. They need to be able to talk to a team lead, or the team needs to be able to talk to them about what's happening strategically. And if there are specific questions related to what's happening, you need to be able to tell the client, I don't know, but I will get you the answer on that. And then it gets pushed back. So there's not as much communication, there's not as much time spent on reporting. But we have got to get rid of wasted time and get rid of things that people don't like doing. If buyers don't want to deal with meetings and they don't want to deal with wasted time 2 days a week, I wouldn't want to do that either. So we need to get rid of those, and this is our strategy to help streamline the whole communication process. Each week we're trying to develop right now what the buyers need to provide to the team lead. And we've got this list here that I'll share of all the different pieces of information that the team lead might want to know or the account manager might need to read. So those are two different levels. So the team lead needs to know the stuff and the account manager needs to understand that it's happening. Things like strategy changes to the client or any just general changes that have been made to the account. Hey, we started running ads on YouTube and we moved some of the budget there or started on LinkedIn or whatever it might be. Desires to buyers, things that buyers want from the client, like if it's display image ads or HTML5, moving GIF ads, whatever it might be, things that we're waiting on, access, XML feeds, whatever. In the last week, and this is done weekly, provided to the team lead. Again, this information is provided by each buyer, the Facebook buyer, Google buyer, Pinterest buyer, Amazon buyer, each week to the team lead, so they have this information on all platforms. What has been tested in the last week? What A/B tests have gone up? What do they look like? How are they doing? What looks bad and why? The client's going to want to know that. And then also what looks good and why, right? What has been done to achieve their goal this week? If their goal is a $40 CPA on pure prospecting, what have we done this week to get that? Are we any closer? The team lead and the account manager need to understand the new reporting that we have, which is really clean and super nice. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you're a buyer and you're managing 10 accounts, and let's say I'm a Google buyer and that's all I do is Google, and I have 10 accounts that I'm managing. Each week, let's say on Monday, I'm gonna fill this information out for the team lead, but I don't have to be on the call with the client. I don't have to communicate with them at all. I might have to field one or two questions from the team lead's phone call about what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna have to spend hours and hours on the phone. I can quickly go through strategy changes. No real strategy changes this week, just optimizing keywords. The idea here is to get these buyers that don't wanna be in meetings and don't wanna spend 2 days getting everything together for reporting out of doing that and just getting them streamlined information to the team lead each week. Now, if the team lead should know all this information because they're gonna be managing the accounts to make sure that they're performing right, but we have to try and streamline the process somehow too. We might not even use this system, but this is the way that we've so designated what we're gonna do next to try and put systems in place so that this is replicable and we can do this again and again. Okay, that's it for these changes and what we're doing next. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll keep you posted if any of the stuff gets implemented and let you know how it goes. If you got any suggestions, obviously hit me in the comments and let me know what we should be doing different or thinking about, books I should read. As always, my name is Bobby Dietz. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one. Okay, so more and more we're having people come up to us, brands, new brands, existing brands, semi-startup brands, talk to us a little bit about being partners, equity partners in their business. It's something that we've thought about a lot and not sure exactly what we're gonna do with it yet. It's funny to be able to be in a position where we can add so much value to companies and people realize that there's potential to be really strong part of a company. Basically, this would involve us taking equity, not charging a service fee for ad spend, and providing all the marketing services for free. If the company does really well, we start to take payment as a shareholder in the company. So instead of our contribution for the company being managing fulfillment or handling any kind of customer service needs, it would be just managing all the advertising. Wouldn't be content creation. We're not into that side of the business yet. It would just be managing the ads. So for us, it's just doing what we always have done for equity in a company. And if we believe in a company, we know it's in an industry that we've seen and we really believe in, it's kind of a no-brainer. The problem is, do we want the cash to grow the business, hire more employees, sign more clients, or do we want the equity and that long tail growth of a company can make us more money potentially? What's the right move? I'm not really sure what to do, but as far as like cash flow now, it feels like taking cash and hiring more employees and growing and providing myself and my other business partners just a little bit more free time to be able to make strategic moves like this would be the right move at this particular juncture. Now, a year from now or whatever it is, maybe it's the perfect time for us because we can assign some of those ad buy tasks to some of the buyers we have in-house, or we can take them on ourselves because we have the free time and we can work on our own time on our own projects that we have equity in and not work on client projects as much. Now, is that the right way to grow a digital marketing agency? Probably not. We probably have to be completely hands-on, maybe not doing the grunt work as it is as much, but we certainly have to be totally hands-on in every aspect of the business if we're going to succeed and maintain quality. So even at that, I don't know if it's going to be the best case scenario for us to run traffic. It would have to be the company that runs the traffic for a owned product, and then we have to use our own money, if we're not actually the people that are buying the traffic, to pay for the employees to buy the traffic. So it doesn't actually pencil out to us making any money until the company is profitable. We have seen companies that do 20x, 10x very, very quickly. We have a client now that has never run traffic, and we just started traffic for them, and they are exploding upwards of 15x. They've never run traffic before, but they've got a nice quality product, and we're able to sell it because it's in a niche and people want it. Now, if we get ourselves in a position like that, and we know that it converts, we know the kind of assets that we need, we know how to write the copy, and we can just kick it on, and we know it'll convert as long as the partner that we're with knows how to operate a product, we should be in good shape. Now, given the fact that we've already run products, and that's kind of how we all came together. You know, I've run hard goods, I've made hard goods, we've sold e-services and made them, we've developed our own products from scratch, proprietary and white labeled. So we know what we're doing, and we know what to look for. We know what the difference between cash flow and profit is. So if we look at partners that do and don't know that, it's gonna help us decide who to get in business with if we do decide to do it. And it's gonna also help us maintain quality because we're gonna ask the right questions. And we're gonna know all the things that we need to know to make sure that the product succeeds, if it can succeed. It's very smart for any company to offer equity to qualified marketers like this. It's a very wise move. I would do the exact same thing if I was in their position. I didn't know how to buy traffic, because you're securing yourself as a highly prioritized person on a buyer's book of business. They have an equity stake, they're going to go above and beyond, they have a vested interest. I get it. For the buyer, how can we make the most money and do the most good, short and long term? It's something fun to talk about, and the opportunities are going to continue to come our way with better and more projects, and we need to decide which ones to do and which ones to not do. If you have thoughts about things we should consider, please put them in the comments. Always like, subscribe, follow, all this kind of stuff, because I'm looking for more feedback and trying to make the right decisions the first time.